Good morning. Recognizing a quorum, I'm calling this meeting of the Cannabis Control Commission to order at 10 a.m. on November 30th, 2020. This meeting is being recorded. I hope everybody had a restful and safe Thanksgiving. Before we get started, I want to thank Erica Schiavelli once again for the logistics management of this meeting. I also want to thank our legal team for all their hard work in terms of getting us to the point where we have a draft of final regs that we can discuss and vote on today. So thanks for all the hard work there. Can we go to the agenda slide, please, Erica? Thanks. We have two things on the agenda today. First, there are some open policy issues from our previous meeting that we need to discuss and vote on. The vote will be to embed those policy issues into our draft regulations that we will subsequently discuss and vote on. When we do get to vote on the draft regulations, we'll do it section by section. We'll have only one vote for each set of regulations unless there are substantive changes that come up during the course of the conversation. The sequence we will do it is we'll do 935 CMR 501, which is the medical regulations first. We will do 935 CMR 500, which are the adult use regulations second. And finally, we will do 935 CMR 502, which are the co-located regulations. I'm going to assume we can get through this without having to take a lunch break, but if necessary, we'll take one at the appropriate time. But my fellow commissioners, anytime that you would like a break, please just let me know, and we can certainly accommodate that. With that, let's get started. The first policy issue that is open, if it's okay with you, Commissioner McBride, would be regulations with respect to third-party platforms. Mm-hmm. Is that right with you, Commissioner McBride?
Yep.
Okay, so language was circulated over the weekend to, or before the weekend to all four commissioners. I want to thank Commissioner McBride for her leadership from day one on this, but I also want to thank Commissioner Title for her help in terms of working with Commissioner McBride and coming up with draft language that was circulated over the weekend. Before we ask for a vote on it, Commissioner McBride, is there anything you'd like to add, or Commissioner Title, to the conversation and discussion and vote on the third-party platform regulations?
I don't think that there's anything that I'd like to add. I want to say thank you to the legal team for an expeditious review of the language that was drafted and for working on this to get this to, I think, what is a really good place. I will say that the regulations that are before us with regard to the third-party tech platforms and prevention of monopolization, I think is a very big step forward in the right direction to preventing some of, I think, the negative consequences that we have tried to avoid all the way along. Right, we've tried to anticipate and have tried to head things off at the pass where possible. I'm really appreciative of the feedback that we received on the particular issue of the interplay between third-party tech platforms and delivery operators and couriers and how that would work. And I think that we turned that comment into what I think is a really workable solution, and I think also puts a stake in the ground for ensuring that there's an understanding about where this commission stands with regard to policy about preventing monopolies, and also really flags for people, I think, that we will be looking at this very closely and watching and engaging on it, in the future. So I'm really pleased with where we ended up on this and what is before the commission for a vote.
Thank you very much, Commissioner McBride. Commissioner Tyler, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
Nothing to add. Thanks.
Okay. And Commissioner Flanagan, before I ask for a vote, are there any comments or questions before I ask for a motion?
No.
Okay. Well, I just want to express my gratitude again. I agree completely with Commissioner McBride. I think we ended up in a really good place here. I think we certainly did benefit from public comments that we got on this, and I'm very pleased with where we are. Obviously, embedded in the draft regulations is a commitment to see how this market evolves over the next couple of years and to make adjustments as necessary, but I think this is a great starting point. With that said, and with no other requests for comments, Commissioner McBride, would you mind making a motion to embed the language into the draft regulations?
So moved.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please, Commissioner Tittle?
Second.
Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tittle. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Tittle?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission unanimously approved the embedding of the draft language into our overall draft regulations. Thank you very much. Moving on, the next topic is cap limits on the number of delivery and retail licenses. And again, Commissioner McBride, I'm going to turn over to you, please, to start the conversation. Once again, I want to thank the legal team for their effort in offering an opinion on our constraints in terms of our ability to put these limits in place. So, Commissioner McBride, would you mind leading the conversation on this, please?
Sure. So this tracks what was raised at the last meeting as a suggestion. The two major pieces here that are embedded in 500.0501B6 under our control limitations language would be first to prohibit any investment by a third-party tech platform provider in a delivery licensee with which they have a contract. And the second would be to decouple retail license, what I call decoupling, retail license caps from delivery license caps, so that a licensee may hold up to 3 retailer licenses and up to a combination of 2 delivery operator and or courier licenses. And again, that reiterates the policy that is embedded in the statute and also what we have worked under as a commission for the past 3 years.
Thank you, Commissioner McBride. Any comments or questions on this? Then I ask Commissioner McBride for a motion to embed the draft language that you just articulated into the overall draft regulations that we will discuss and vote on later on in this meeting. Or do you think? Thank you. Could I have a second, please, Commissioner Tittle?
Second.
Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Tittle. Can I have your vote, please, Commissioner Flanagan?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Tittle?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, aye. I'll let the record show that the commission unanimously approved the motion to embed the draft language into the overall draft regulations. Thank you. The next topic has been raised by Commissioner Tittle, and that is with respect to cures for suitability issues. Commissioner Tittle, would you care to lead this part of the conversation, please?
Sure, thank you. The language that has been circulated is, I believe, a clarification of the definition of a cure or how a cure can be made. And I worked with legal and the Chief of Investigations and Enforcement on this language, which they both approved. And that's all. I just want to actually add one more thing. In the heading, the current heading is 500.800 background check suitability standard for licensure and registration. As part of this change, I would propose just making it suitability standard for licensure and registration and removing the words background check.
Okay, thank you. Are there comments or questions? Okay, then, Commissioner Dow, would you make a motion, please, to embed that into our draft regulations for subsequent vote later on today?
So moved.
Thank you. Commissioner Flanagan, would you second that motion? Or Commissioner McBride, would you second that motion?
Second.
Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner Title made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission actually approved embedding the language into draft regulations. Commissioner Title, is there anything else that you wish to raise at this time?
Yes, I had one other proposed change.
Okay, please go ahead.
That is to include the same language that we just passed about a prohibition on monopolies in the medical regulations as well as the adult use.
Okay, thank you. Are there comments or questions on that? Commissioner McBride?
Nope.
Yeah. Commissioner Flanagan?
No.
Okay, then could you just formally state that motion, please, Commissioner Title?
Move to include prohibition on monopolies as circulated into the medical regulations.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Let the record show that Commissioner Title made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission unanimously approved the motion. Thank you very much, Commissioner Title. It is my intent now to move into a section-by-section discussion of the medical regulations, unless there are other open policy issues that anybody wishes to raise. Okay, then what again I'm proposing to do from a structure standpoint is to read through each section of the table of contents, pause, ask, are there any questions or suggested changes? If there is anything substantive, we'll vote on it in each section. Otherwise, we'll just go to the next section. And then at the end, what I will do is ask for a motion to approve the entirety of the medical use of marijuana regulations, subject to ministerial delegating to the staff ministerial changes in formatting. So if that's okay, then let's get started. And again, we're going to start with 935 CMR 501, medical use of marijuana. I'm just going to read off section by section, starting with, and I'm going to, well, I'll go through everything. 501.001 purpose. 501.002 definitions. 501.003, excuse me, which is to delete co-located medical marijuana operations. 501.005 fees. 501.006 registration of certifying physicians. 501.007 registration of certified nurse practitioners. 501.008 registration of certifying physician assistants. 501.010 written certification of a debilitating medical condition for a qualifying patient. 501.015 temporary and annual registration of qualifying patients. 501.020 temporary and annual registration of personal caregivers. 501.021 registration of certifying of caregiving institutions, excuse me. 501.022 registration of institutional caregivers. 501.025 responsibilities of caregivers. 501.027 hardship cultivation registration. 501.029 registration and conduct of independent testing laboratory agents. 501.030 registration of medical marijuana treatment center agents. 501.031 denial of a registration card or hardship cultivation registration. 501.032 revocation of a registration card or hardship cultivation registration. 501.033 void registration cards. 501.034 revocation of a certifying healthcare provider registration. 501.035 void certifying physician registration. 501.040 leadership rating program for medical marijuana treatment centers.
I have something on this, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, please, Commissioner Title.
This is, I believe, a minor suggestion on page 41 under leadership rating criteria A4.
Go ahead.
So 66% or more of the licensee's employees are people of color, including, and then it has a list. I would suggest that we just cut that including clause and leave it as people of color and not specify the groups.
Thank you. Any objection to that?
No.
Okay. So noted, and in the final vote that we'll take on these regulations, it will be with that section removed, or that clause removed.
Thank you. Can that be understood to apply to adult use as well?
Why don't we just do it when we get to adult use?
Sure.
Well, I'll make a note, but one of us will remember when we get to that section of adult use.
Okay.
Let's keep going. 501.050 medical marijuana treatment centers. 501.052 independent testing laboratories. 501.100 application for licensing of medical marijuana treatment centers. 501.101 application requirements. 501.102 action on applications. 501.103 licensure and renewal. 501.104 notification and approval of changes. 501.105 general operational requirements for medical marijuana treatment centers. 501.110 security requirements for medical marijuana treatment centers. 501.120 additional operational requirements for the cultivation, acquisition, and distribution of marijuana. 501.130 additional operational requirements for handling and testing marijuana and for production of MIPs, of MIPS. 501.140 additional operational requirements for patient sales. 501.145 home delivery. 501.150 edibles. 501.160 testing of marijuana and marijuana products. 501.170 municipal requirements. 501.200 counties of Dukes County and Nantucket. 501.300 complaints process. 501.301 inspection and compliance. 501.302 compliance examination. 501.303 unannounced purchases for the purpose of investigative testing. Secret shopper program. 501.310 deficiency statements. 501.320 plans of correction. 501.321 administrative hold. 501.330 limitation of sales. 501.335 removal and prohibition of marijuana and marijuana products. Excuse me. 501.340 quarantine order. 501.350 cease and desist order and summary suspension order. 501.360 fines. 501.370 orders to show cause. 501.400 medical marijuana treatment center license grounds for denial of applications for licensure. 501.415 void medical marijuana treatment center license. 501.450 medical marijuana treatment center registration or license grounds for suspension, revocation, and denial of renewal applications. 501.500 hearings and appeals of actions on registrations or licenses. 501.800 background check suitability standard for licensure and registration. 501.801 suitability standard for licensure. 501.802 suitability standard for registration as a medical marijuana treatment center agent. 501.803 suitability standard for registration as a laboratory agent. 501.820 confidentiality. 501.830 petitions for the adoption, amendment, or repeal of regulations. 501.840 non-conflict with other laws. 501.850 waivers. 501.860 notice. 501.900 severability. Are there any suggested changes or comments before I ask for a motion and a vote? Give me a second, please. So I would like a motion, please, that moves that the commission approve 935 CMR 501 and the changes made as a result of our deliberations, and for the regulations to be finalized and filed with the Secretary of State's Regulations and Publication Divisions, including 935, excuse me, that'd be it. Let me just do that again. Move the commission approve The set of final regulations, 935 CMR 501, and changes may result in deliberations, and for the regulations to be finalized and filed with the Secretary of State's Regulations and Publication Divisions. Could I have such a motion, please?
So moved.
I'm sorry, I
Second.
lost our screen. Can you, who made the motion? Thank you. Let the record show Commissioner Title made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Title?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, let the record show the motion was approved unanimously by the commission. At the end of all three of these sections of the regulations, I'm going to also ask for an additional motion giving delegating to staff the ability to make ministerial and formatting changes. I'll do that once rather than 3 times, but we'll have that motion at the end relating to all 3 sets of regulations. Let us move into 935 CMR 500, adult use of marijuana. 2 comments before we get started. One is included in our discussion in the table of contents is an additional definition on inducement that was circulated by Commissioner McBride over the weekend. From my purposes, Commissioner McBride, can you just give me the section that definition, or that will come in 500.002 definitions?
Yes.
Okay, and everybody's had a chance. So when we do vote on 500.002, it will include the additional definition that Commissioner McBride circulated proposed language on over the weekend, which is around inducements. And then Commissioner Title, please remind me when we get to the appropriate section to make the same change we made to the medical regulations. Okay, again, I'll go through the section by section, and unless there is a proposed change, I'll just keep going. If there is proposed change, we'll discuss it and if necessary vote on it, and then we'll have one final vote on the full set of regulations. So again, 935 CMR 500, starting with 500.001 purpose. Thank you. 500.002 definitions. 500.003. I'm sorry, Commissioner Title, where were we?
I had something on definitions.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. This is actually not a proposed change. This is just something I wanted to discuss for the record, and it's the definition of small business. So we defined small businesses as an applicant or licensee that currently employs a certain number of employees and then has a gross revenue for the year prior lower than a certain amount. And then we waived application fees depending on that status. So the reason I wanted to raise it is just because if you don't have revenue from the prior year, we don't know yet whether you meet the definition of a small business or not. So I assume that either there will be some rebate process or there will be a process where you get the application fee waived, and then if you end up making too much revenue, you have to pay it back. So I don't have strong feelings either way, but I just wanted to make sure that I raised that so it was clear that we saw that.
I think something we can work with staff to resolve this.
Thanks.
Could you please all do me a favor? If you do have a question or comment, can you just speak out? Because I got my head down reading through the table of contents, so I'm not looking at the screen. So if you could just verbally make your desire to speak known, I'd appreciate it. So I think we're on 500.003 co-located marijuana operations. 500.005 fees. 500.029 registration and conduct of laboratory agents. 500.030 registration of marijuana establishment agents. 500.031, denial of a marijuana establishment agent registration card. 500.032, revocation of a marijuana establishment agent registration card. 500.033, void registration cards. 500.040, leadership rating for marijuana establishments and marijuana-related businesses. Is this the appropriate place for your change, Commissioner Title?
Yes, I'd like to propose the same change.
Okay. Again, if there are no objections, we'll, when we vote on the entire regulations, take the clause out of the language as discussed previously for the medical regulations. Okay, 500.050, marijuana establishments. 500. Yes, I'm sorry. Who was that?
Sorry, that was me.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Title.
It takes me a pause, sorry. 500.05010, marijuana courier. 10B, E. After the promulgation of these regulations, any application or license classified as a delivery-only license pursuant to previously adopted regulations shall be converted to a delivery license application or license governed by this section. I was wondering if we wanted to be more specific and say courier license, or if we wanted to keep it more general at delivery license.
Commissioner McBride, do you have thoughts on that?
I think courier license is probably what was intended by this, being as that's sort of the process that we're in, right now of doing provisional licensure on the courier type, what will end up being the courier type license. So I think that that's probably the appropriate change.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. So unless there are any objections, when we vote on the full set of regulations, we'll embed that language change for 500.04050. Okay, let's keep going. 500.100. I guess that, I'm sorry, the section that you were asking for the change, Commissioner Title, was 050 or 100?
050.
Okay, so fine, that's just what I said then. Then 500.100, application for licensing of marijuana establishments. 500.101, application requirements. 500.102, action on applications. 500.103, licensure and renewal. 500.104, notification and approval of changes. 500.105, general operational requirements for marijuana establishments.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So this isn't a change, but it is something that when we were discussing the regulations previously, we sort of flagged as a potential issue, and it's with regard to 105.13.
Yes.
And let me see, and it's the heading is transportation between marijuana establishments. We had a discussion about whether we needed to put in any additional language relative to compliance with existing registry of motor vehicle requirements. And I greatly appreciate the work that the legal team did on this. We don't have to make any changes. After their discussion with the RMV, this language is suitable and allows us to, it ensures that there's compliance now, which there will be. There doesn't have to be anything additional done at this point in time. So I'll flag it here. It's just to kind of, come full circle on that conversation, and I'll flag it again under .145 for delivery licensees. There's a similar provision there. Actually, maybe we don't need to flag it under 145 because it's just the same. We don't need to make any changes.
Okay. Well, no, I appreciate the follow-up and the thoroughness. So, so noted. Moving on to 500.110 security requirements for marijuana establishments. 500.120 additional operational requirements for indoor and outdoor marijuana cultivators. 500.130 additional operational requirements for marijuana product manufacturers. 500.140 additional operational requirements for retail sale. 500.141 additional operational requirements for social consumption establishments. 500.145 additional operational requirements for delivery of marijuana, marijuana products, marijuana accessories, and marijuana establishment branded goods to consumers and as permitted to patients or caregivers.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't have a change, but I wanted to confirm something.
Sure, please go ahead.
Thank you. This is 500.145 for B, pre-verification of the consumer's identification. It says that one way it can be done is through a commission-approved third-party technology platform. And the way I read that is that third-party technology platforms don't all need to be commission-approved, but they would just need to be approved for this purpose. So just wanted to confirm that.
That's my understanding. Commissioner McBride, is that correct?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, 500.146 additional operational requirements for marijuana delivery operators. 500.147 operational requirements for marijuana research facility licensees and research permits. 500.150 edibles. 500.160 testing of marijuana and marijuana products. 500.170 municipal requirements. 500.200 counties of Dukes County and Nantucket. 500.300 complaints process. 500.301 inspections and compliance. 500.302 compliance examination. 500.303 unannounced purchase for purpose of investigative testing, the secret shopper program. 500.310 deficiency statements. 500.320 plans of correction. 500.321 administrative hold. 500.330 limitation of sales. 500.335 removal and prohibition of marijuana and marijuana products. 500.340 quarantine order, excuse me. 500.350 cease and desist order and summary suspension order. 500.360 fines. 500.370, order to show cause. 500.400, marijuana establishments, grounds for denial of application for licensure. 500.415, void marijuana establishment license. I'm very sorry. Could I ask please for a short 5-minute break? If that's all right, we'll reconvene in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. My apologies, I'm going to need another 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I apologize for that. Can we get started again, please? Okay, I can see everybody. Thank you. Again, my apologies for that. I believe the last one that we went through was 500.415. So let's keep going from that point. 500.450 marijuana establishment license, grounds for suspension, revocation, and denial of renewal applications. 500.500 hearings and appeals of actions on licenses. 500.800 background check suitability standard for licensure and registration. 500.801 suitability standard for licensure. 500.802 suitability standard for registration as a marijuana establishment agent. 500.803 suitability standard for registration as a laboratory agent. 500.820 confidentiality. 500.830 petitions for the adoption, amendment, and repeal of regulations. 500.840 non-conflict with other laws. 500.850 waivers. 500.860 notice. 500.900 severability. Are there any questions or comments other than the ones that have been raised thus far before I ask for a motion? So then can I ask for a motion that the commission approve 935 CMR 500. With changes made as a result of deliberations and for the regulations to be finalized and filed with the Secretary of State's Regulations and Publication Divisions, excuse me. Can I have such a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote.
No.
Commissioner McBride.
Aye.
Commissioner Title.
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the motion was approved by a vote of 3 in favor. Commissioners McBride, Title, and Hoffman, with Commissioner Flanagan voting no. Thank you very much. Let's move on, please, to 935 CMR 502, which are the co-located regulations. Just as context, all of the co-located regulations have been embedded in what we just voted and approved for CMR 935 CMR 501 and 935 CMR 500. So the motion here, I will ask for discussion before asking for a vote, but the motion would be to delete 935 CMR 502, which is no longer necessary since all of the regulations contained there have been embedded in 501 and 500. So any discussion or questions on this before I ask for such a motion? Then could I have a motion, please, to delete 935 CMR 502?
So moved.
I think.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Let the record show Commissioner McBride made the motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Title.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show that the commission unanimously approved the motion. Thank you. There is one other motion that I would like that would cover all 3 of the sets of regulations that we just voted on, and the motion is to move that the commission allow the executive director and his delegates to finalize the final regulations, make further changes consistent with the commission's deliberations and votes, the commission's governing laws and the regulation division's requirements, and to take any additional steps necessary to file the final regulations with the regulations division. Could I have such a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Let the record show that Commissioner Flanagan made the motion, seconded by Commissioner McBride. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Title.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman, aye. Let the record show the commission unanimously approved the motion. Before I move on, are there any other comments, questions, or issues with respect to the final regulations that we just voted on and approved? Okay. The only other item that I'm aware of on the agenda for today is Commissioner Title's request that we discuss and vote on guidance with respect to diversity. I will take responsibility here that I'm not sure that they ever were distributed. I know that Commissioners Title and Flanagan worked together to develop them. I have read them. I can't speak for Commissioner McBride, so I'm just not sure whether we're able to vote on this today. And Commissioner McBride, it's really kind of in your court, and my apologies that these were not distributed. But I don't know if you've seen that or not.
They weren't distributed with materials, so.
But they have. They're previously distributed, but that might be my mistake, and I apologize for that. Commissioner Title.
I don't think they were distributed then, so it's fine to leave it to a future meeting.
Okay, thank you for that, Commissioner Title. Eric, if we could get back to the slide deck, please. And go to the next slide, please. Thank you. We do not have a date for our next commission meeting. We'll work on that. We've had a large number of meetings over the last several months, and working with my fellow commissioners and staff, we will communicate publicly, obviously, as quickly as we can when our next meeting is scheduled. But right now, there is no specific date for our next public meeting. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I think there's one other item of business, which is this, I think as everybody is aware, is Commissioner McBride's last meeting with us. I know that I would like to say a few words. I promise to keep them short and not mushy, Commissioner McBride. But I also know that my fellow commissioners would like to say something. I also know that Commissioner Flanagan has a note from former Commissioner Doyle as well. So Commissioner Flanagan, if you could do your own comments and then read Commissioner Doyle's comments, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say that today is obviously a sad day to see that this is your last meeting. Commissioner McBride, I think that over the course of the last 3 years, we've been a part of something historic and monumental, and I cannot thank you enough for being that that bridge between the different sides of this entity. For me personally, you have been not only a sounding board, but a voice of reason in times when I was the scrappy former legislator who just wanted to do it the way I wanted to do it. You always had your methodical way of thinking. You're someone who has such true integrity, and I think the fact that you're here today, days past when you were supposed to leave, just shows how committed you are, not only to this issue, but to the people of the Commonwealth. And I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for your friendship, and I really, really wish you all the best in the future. Having said that, I also now have a statement that I need to read from former Commissioner Kay Doyle, who is very busy today at work and wanted to be here. It says, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be heard today so that I can pay tribute to Commissioner Britta McBride, a dear friend and one of the best people I've ever worked with. In the fall of 2017, Britta and I faced the daunting task of drafting the language for the original regulations in a frighteningly short period of time, relying on the input of our fellow commissioners, the advisory board, and the stakeholders. I had the advantage of coming in with experience in cannabis law from the Department of Public Health, but Commissioner McBride was being asked to regulate an entire industry that was wholly new to her. Fortunately for us, her incisive intelligence is matched by endless determination and energy, and a wonderful grace and good humor. On days when I was frustrated, she was a fantastic sounding board and a source of strength and inspiration. She is an ultimate bridge builder, always trying to find consensus when others struggle for common ground. The commission and the industry itself would not have been able to get up and running in Massachusetts without not only her leadership, but her ability to raise others up to lead. I am grateful for her continued friendship and wish her the very best for her future."
Thank you, Commissioner Flanagan. Commissioner Title?
That's so lovely. Commissioner McBride, it's a huge loss to the commission to see you leave. We've been so lucky to have you, and I am particularly grateful for your guidance in the early days when I had no idea what a government official was supposed to be doing, and you were so kind to me and helpful. I would have been totally lost without you. And Commissioner Flanagan used the word integrity. That was the word that I was planning to use as well. I can only hope that future commissioners will have your integrity and that they will care as much as you have cared. And I learned a lot from you. I really enjoyed working with you. And I think the things that we've worked on together, not only are they some of the most significant things to me and impactful, but also just looking back on our time at the commission, there's some of my favorite moments. Some of the little high fives we've shared are the things I cherish the most. So you will be so missed. I think your legacy is huge, particularly today's vote and everything you've done for delivery. There's so much more, and I'll miss you a lot.
Thank you, Commissioner Title. Commissioner McBride, I promise to keep it short, and I think that my fellow commissioners have done a great job in terms of recognizing your contributions. I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your contributions cannot possibly be overstated, and I am deeply gratified by that. I also just want to say personally that it has been one of the great honors and pleasures of my professional career to have had the opportunity to work with you for the last 3+ years. I will miss you greatly, but I wish you the best, and I'm absolutely convinced that whatever you choose your next adventure will be enormously successful, and you'll have the same kind of impact that you've had on the commission. So thank you so much. Commissioner McBride, would you like to say anything in response to that?
I would. I am just humbled by all of the words and the sentiments that were shared. And I really appreciate everything that my colleagues have done, what we've done over the past 3 years. I've been extraordinarily fortunate to be part of this agency from day one, and not because of the work that is interesting and challenging, but because of the people. The individuals who make up this agency are talented, fair-minded, and hardworking, and nothing that we have accomplished has been done alone by a single individual, and nothing that we struggle with is born only by a single individual. Collectively, we bear criticism, we work through problems, and we innovate. And I am exceedingly proud to have worked with you, outstanding fellow commissioners, to structure this regulatory framework that's been implemented through grit and determination and the sheer will, in many instances, of the people who make up this agency, under the leadership of what someone I consider to be exceptional, Sean Collins, our executive director. We still have a lot to do, but we have a lot to be proud of. And particularly to you, my colleagues on the commission, there are no other people who've had the experience that we've had over the past 3+ years, and will always be bonded by that. And I'm grateful to you for your thoughtfulness, for your passion, and for your perseverance. And obviously included in that is former Commissioner Doyle, who I was so grateful to be able to work alongside at the earliest moments of this agency. I want to say thank you to Sean Collins, who brings his all to leading this agency day in and day out and navigates often tumultuous waters with grace. I want to say a special thank you to Mary Alice Curley, who is our first employee and kind of utility player. And of course, now is our press secretary and has been a trusted sounding board to me over the past 3 years. And I also need to say a very big thank you to my appointing authority, Attorney General Healy. I'm humbled by the trust that she put in me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served in this capacity. And thank you as well to her Chief of Staff, Gabe Viator, and Gabe's predecessor, Mike Firestone, who also showed great trust in me, and it is very much appreciated. And, our staff, just the work that our staff does can't be overstated to a person. And it has been no small task to not only build an agency, but to also stand up an industry over the past 3 years. And I'm impressed every day by the folks who make up this agency, who come to work and do the work that they do, and do it with their full heart. And I really appreciate, in particular, the comments about integrity, because I've tried to operate with integrity. That has been something that I've tried to do throughout my entire career. It's sort of been kind of the thing I'm most proud of over the course of my career. But I also think that it has been imbued into this agency and the work that we do here. And it's not easy, but there's just so much growth and development and so much good that has the potential to come out of all of these challenges that we face. And thank you. I mean, just thank you to everyone for coming every day and bringing your all. It has been a real pleasure the last 3 years working with you.
Thank you, Commissioner McBride. We will miss you. There being no further business for the commission, can I ask, please, Commissioner Flanagan, for a motion to adjourn?
Not if Commissioner McBride will stay until we're adjourned. So moved.
Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Let the record show that Commissioner Flanagan made the motion to adjourn, seconded by Commissioner Teitel. Commissioner Flanagan, your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner McBride?
Aye.
Commissioner Teitel?
Aye.
Commissioner Hoffman, aye. I guess that's your last vote, Commissioner McBride. Let the record show that the commission unanimously approved motion to adjourn. We are adjourned as of 11:06 a.m. on November 30th, 2020. Thank you very much, and be safe, everybody. Bye.